My grandma went to the pet shop one day and there was a monkey. So they ended up with this monkey, and then when people were coming to purchase the produce and eggs and cakes and things, obviously children wanted to see the monkeys.
Yeah.
They'd play on my mum's toys that were in the garden, and it pretty much went on from there.
You're listening to Come Here, the podcast for and about heritage attractions, where you can discover somewhere worth visiting. I'm your host, Dr. Liz Drury, a freelance voiceover artist with a background in archaeology, specialising in voiceover for the heritage sector. Each week, I chat to someone from a different museum, historic site, gallery or cultural space about why you should visit, and exactly what you can expect when you get there. This week's episode is something a little bit different. Debs Griffin is one of the directors of Sundown Adventureland in Nottinghamshire. And whilst this isn't a museum, the site does have a long history, and I'm sure our conversation will bring back lots of memories for people who visited Sundown ever since it was known as Pet's Corner. Thank you very much for being my guest on the podcast today, Debs.
You are more than welcome. I'm happy to be here.
So can you just briefly introduce yourself and tell me what your role is?
Yep, so I'm Debs Griffin. I am director and part owner of Sundown Adventureland. I've worked my way up through the business. There's no job I can't do to get to where I am today. We are family ran, so we're on the third generation. So yeah, glad to be here.
Now, this podcast generally is about heritage attractions, and this is a little bit of a departure, but you do have a really long history, don't we? So can you tell me how the attraction started?
So we will be 60 years old in 2028.
Wow.
The business was created by my grandparents. So it was just after, it was quite a bit after the war. My grandma had come out of the Land Army, my granddad had left the army, and they started working at Rampton Hospital, which is just down the road. And, true love story, they met each other, and then they wanted a property, and they fell in love with a bungalow that was here. Still bought it, couldn't afford it, and then was trying to find ways to earn money off the land at the same time as working a job. And that started with they had chickens, they had produce. My grandma used to make cakes. Then they got this fascination with animals. They've always loved animals. My grandma went to the pet shop one day and there was a monkey. So they ended up with this monkey, and then when people were coming to purchase the produce and eggs and cakes and things, obviously children wanted to see the monkeys.
Yeah.
They'd play on my mum's toys that were in the garden, and it pretty much went on from there. So more exotic animals, farm animals. At one point, I'm pretty sure she bred dogs, sold rabbits. It just went on from there.
Yeah. And is that when it became known as Pet's Corner?
Yes. Yeah. So it was nicknamed Pet's Corner. It was never an official business. It was just nosy neighbours coming to support, buying local back then, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much land did they have around the bungalow?
So to start with, there was only the bungalow and then one field behind it. And then as the business grew, I suppose, when more land came up for sale, they just bought a little bit more, bought a little bit more, bought a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. And so how long was it before it kind of became an official business, if you like?
God, that is a question. I would say it must have been a good 5 years or so. Because they were still... My granddad still worked. My grandma didn't, because they adopted 3 children over this time. But I would say it pretty much kicked off when she was raising the kids. So I'd say officially it would have been in the 60s.
Yeah. So tell me how the site developed from those sort of early beginnings.
So it pretty much was, swing slides and animals, and then I'd say one of the biggest attractions that they put in would have been the aviaries. they went into birds, and she used to rescue a lot of animals as well. And then the castle was a very big build that we did years ago. And then my brother he's so much better at the timeline of when everything came than me, but yeah, he's not very good at the talking side of it, but it came to a point where it was, do they focus more on animals, or do they focus more on rides and play areas and things? So they put in big sandpits, bigger play equipment, and then they started with the themed areas as well, with big bears and the plasticky style animals. So they themed up the areas at the same time.
Yeah. So tell me what the site consists of today.
No, so we did step away from the animals due to health and safety concerns, hand washing, foot and mouth, all different things like that. And then obviously you have to decide whether you go for that zoo licence or if you go down the other path. So they decided to stick with the theme side of it, and now we've got 9 rides, we've got themed play areas, we've got sensory areas, moving animation and things. But our main focus will always be the come and spend time in big open spaces, swing, slide, run, jump, use your imagination. We're very old school. We like children to come and use their imagination and have the space to be safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got a lot of little wooden buildings, haven't you, that the children can run in and out of?
Yeah, so probably one of the best places to play hide and seek I've ever been to, can't lie. And they're all themed as well. So in our Smuggler's Cove, all the buildings all interlock, and you can get from one side all the way round to the other, and you climb up netting, come down slides, go through little themed buildings. One's a maze that you've got to get through, and one of our biggest sells has got to be join in, get in there with the kids. You're fit, get in. Just go and get lost and play and have a good day away from screens.
Yeah. I was just going to say, how easy is it for adults to get into these spaces?
We always encourage them. If you're tall, it can be a trick, but we do encourage it. We don't have children only areas. A lot of people don't want to let the children go off and play by themselves now, so we encourage it all the time.
Yeah. I would say that your park is really quite different from other theme parks. What would you say makes it unique?
I would say the biggest thing that makes us unique is you're not coming to us to stand in a queue all day. We have so many play areas that can be enjoyed without having to wait. And that is a big thing now. Children get so stressed in those kind of environments, and our queue times, even if you do go on the rides and stuff, our queue times are not the hour-long queues that you have at some of the bigger parks. We are nice and small. We're very spread out, so if it does get a bit tense, you can go and have an hour in the sandpit or go and have an hour in the fort. We've got 2 amazing indoor soft plays as well, so if the weather's still not great, they can go in there and just let that steam off before they've then got to go and stand in the queue for 10 minutes to get on a ride. So I'd say we're different because we're not we're not the queue and enjoy.
Yeah. Do you have a personal favourite part of the park?
The castle. But even from day one, I loved it when it was the medieval castle. You could just go in there and imagine Merlin and everything. But we've just worked so hard giving it a new paint job and sorting out all the animation in there. It is just, well, who don't want to be a princess?
Oh, yeah.
It's all pink and colourful, but it's still got those elements for boys as well. We've got smells that go throughout it as well, and different lighting, so it's so sensory, and it smells great.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the smells, whether the smells were still there.
Oh yeah, definitely. We do use smells in quite a few places on the park now.
Yeah.
Because it just adds to that depth of imagination.
Yeah, it's an immersive experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long do people spend typically at the park?
We are definitely a full day attraction. We've got accommodation in now because we were getting so much back from our guests saying, we need to stay longer, you need to build a hotel. So, 4 years ago we did decide to build a lodge site, and our lodges are still just as themed as what the park is. And we have people that come for a week and still tell us that they go in there every day, all day for a week.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to rush.
Yeah.
They can go and enjoy every element, and the kids don't have to rush to go to the next bit so that they see everything.
Yeah. So what age is the park suitable for?
We're for under 10s, so we're not for the bigger kids, which I think is a unique part in itself because there's so many bigger parks out there for the teenagers with the big roller coasters and everything else like that. We would never go down that path. It just isn't something that we think we can do. So we keep the primary school children. So yeah, under 10's perfect.
Yeah. And how accessible is the site for people who've got mobility issues?
So we're pretty good, to be fair. We've got one area that's still barked, but you can still get over there in a wheelchair and a mobility scooter. There is some areas that obviously were built a long time ago which you can't get a wheelchair in, but whenever we do anything new now, we're always aware of mobility, access and children with additional needs. We've always got that in the forefront now, anytime we do anything new.
Yeah. And so how suitable are the rides for children that do have those additional needs?
So we do have ride access passes for our guests with additional needs to ensure that they're not having to queue for too long. We work together with Nimbus to put that in place on site. We also do a lot of work with guys that are in wheelchairs as well to try and get them on as many rides as we can. Yeah.
I'm assuming that in terms of dogs, it's probably only assistance dogs, is that right?
It is, yeah. We only accept assistance dogs here just because it's just not the environment that... We have a lot of babies and toddlers. Yeah. They crawl around a lot, having dogs everywhere. A lot of children are quite uneasy around dogs and things, and obviously you need areas where dogs can go and do their business as well, and we just don't have that capability here. But no, assistance dogs are always welcome.
And what sort of facilities do you have for food and drink?
So we've got 3 cafes on site that do pretty much the same menu. It's pretty fast foody, but we do have healthy options. We've got vegan options, gluten-free options. We have a great allergen system for our guests when they're here. And then we also have little outlets around the park as well that will do like ice creams, drinks, hot dogs, pancakes. We open them, in busy periods as well.
Yeah, and presumably people can bring their own picnic as well.
Of course, yeah. We've got picnic tables everywhere. We've got in the summer months our big arena, which it's full of picnic tables, which is also air conditioned as well. So. And heated, so if it's raining, you're dry, and if it's hot, you're cool and dry.
Yeah. Do you have any special events during the year?
Yeah, we do an event at Easter. We just started our Wacky Warren this year. We converted one of our buildings, and we've got Egbert in a Easter Bunny grotto, and you go through his warren, and we did some planting with our guests as well this year. I'm wondering if anybody's sunflowers are 6 foot tall, because mine did not do as well as what I thought it would have. And, there's photo ops, and then they get a gift from Egbert. We are also wanting to do something more for Halloween this year as well, because we've created some of more characters. So we're hoping to do a trick or treat maybe style theme with our Halloween characters this year, but that's in the pipeline, but we're not talking too much about that yet. And obviously our Christmas event is by far the best I've ever visited.
Yeah.
And I know I might be biased. It's like it was our grandma's baby. It was the first £1 million attraction she built. It's forever always gonna be her baby. We will always look after it, and the experience is just magical. It is just so magical.
Yeah, can you describe something of that to us?
So you go on a sleigh ride first through an enchanted forest, and it's all fairy tale characters getting ready for Christmas. So it's all snowy and beautiful. We've got our own soundtrack that goes through it as well. It's a bespoke song that was written. Our poor grandma had it for her funeral. It's so special, bless her. And then as you come round off the sleigh, you get off and you are outside Santa's house. And then you go into Santa's library, and there's a big desk and everything all set up. And then you go in to see Santa in his cosy living room. And then as you come out, you come out through the elves working in a factory, and then into our beautiful arena that's all themed up and snowy to collect your Santa photos. And then also in that big arena we have entertainment going on throughout the day as well.
Yeah, lovely. So tell me something about what goes on behind the scenes that visitors don't see.
Chaos. It's definitely a different style of job. We have up to 160 members of staff at our peak, so organising that is quite fun. We've got a great management team behind us that help us support things, but it's actually quite fun behind the scenes, I'm not going to lie. Most people go to work and they do the same things every day. We come to work and, we're looking at new rides we could potentially purchase, or we're looking at theming to do up different areas, or paint samples, floor samples, leaf samples. It's no day is ever the same. But then, we do a day job as well. So Sean, my older brother, he pretty much does the day-to-day running of the theme park. I do the day-to-day running of Wild Acre Village, which is our lodge park. And, it is us that's out there doing the rotas, going out, mucking in, helping out. So, yeah, no 2 days are the same.
Yeah. And how much work does it take to sort of keep everything in good condition? Because as we said, some parts of the park are quite old now. Is there a lot of work to do on sort of preserving things? There
is. We've got such a big maintenance team from the gardeners that keep everything looking stunning, may I add, at the minute. All the hanging baskets are out and everything looks so beautiful. And then you've got the maintenance team that are always keeping on top of the rides. We've got a painting team that are always out, making sure everything's painted up and everything. But yeah, you're right, when you're nearly 60 years old, it is a big job. It is a big job. But I think we do have great teams in place here. Our cleaning teams, maintenance teams, even down to the guys you've got working in the catering and on the rides. Every day they're still making sure that area is cleaned and spick and span.
Yeah. So have you got any exciting projects or developments coming up?
We have got something in the pipeline for our 60th, but it is still hush-hush at the moment. It is a little bit of an ode to our grandparents, but we are keeping it secret, unfortunately, at the minute. We are currently working on getting photo ops on the rides being put in, so that's exciting. Because I always find that we are a theme park that is a theme park that every toddler should experience. It should be every child's first theme park, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you've got toddlers, you don't get that family picture. You don't get that experience because you want to be on that ride and enjoying it with your children. So we have decided that we do want some on-ride photography. So we're currently working on that. We'd like to have that in for the summer. We're also working on our Halloween event, so we're trying to figure out how we would like to do that. There's a lot of ongoing infrastructure work going on at the minute. We've got a massive solar panel project just about to start. Everybody knows, overheads are going up, so we've got a big solar panel project going up. We've just finished putting in electric chargers for cars, because that's a big thing now, so we've just completed that. They're all up and working now. And I've said about Halloween, I think that's it for this year, but I think that's enough for this year. And then hopefully we can get back to doing what we do best, and that's, putting new attractions and redoing areas to keep them up to scratch.
Yeah. What does it cost to come in?
At the minute, so we've got the tax break, so we are currently working with giving that tax relief back to our guests at the minute. So it all depends on what day you come, but we're around the £20 to £25 mark.
Yeah.
But like I say, that's due to come down because of the tax relief.
Yeah. So what do you love most about Sundown?
I just love walking around and just seeing people laughing and playing. I love seeing kids running off, I'm not going to lie. I just love to see their excited faces, whether it's when they're just walking through the gate or if they've got to their favourite ride or favourite play area. It will always be seeing the guests when they're here. I love talking to them, asking them if they've had a good day. Just seeing the stress-free, happy kids will always be the best for me.
Yeah. And what do you think, do you think when your grandparents bought that monkey and all this sort of started 60 years ago, do you think they ever imagined what it would become?
Absolutely not. I think she just wanted some creative pets and needed to pay the mortgage, and I don't think in a month of Sundays she'd have ever thought we'd be where we are today.
Yeah, well, it's a great legacy that she's left you.
Oh, it really is.
And I've really enjoyed talking to you about it. Thanks for being my guest.
Not a problem at all, anytime.
Thanks for listening to Come Here. If you know a heritage attraction that would love to be featured, or you have a suggestion for somewhere you'd like me to cover, I'd love to hear from you. To find my email address and find out more about me, pop to my website at lizdrury.com. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe, rate and review the show. It really helps other people to find it. See you next time, and come and discover somewhere else worth visiting.